Here's an E major thing. Here's an E minor thing. So you can already tell that mixture of those two is like just this great thing between sweet and sour, or again, whatever adjectives we want to use. The key to this foundationally is having a great understanding of each of those scales. So if you check out the videos on minor pentatonic and major pentatonic, and you're savvy in kind of those individually, being able to solo with those scales confidently, hopefully in the 5 positions. If not, just a few is good to start with. If you're confident in that, then combining these isn't really going to be that challenging. You just have to get your ear used to it and consider some of these next steps that I'm going to talk about right now. So I look at everything in the caged system. You can refer back to that video if you're not as familiar with it. This makes this sort of a thing a lot easier to navigate on the fretboard, because I just treat things, if I'm doing like a blues or a rock thing, a lot of times I'll just look at it as the dominant 7th chord shape of it. So like I'm looking at this as like an E7, even if it's like a riff based thing. Whatever, I'm just playing things off the top of my head. It doesn't have to be. It can be that, but I essentially am looking at this major and minor mixture based on like a 7th, because it's easier to access some of those other intervals to the ear when a 7th sort of thing is behind it. If that didn't make much sense, just know that I'm viewing everything in the E shape right now with this. So I'm thinking E major pentatonic. And then I'm thinking E minor pentatonic when I'm going into the minor stuff. So a great place to start is like that. Take a shape out of the caged system. Let's say we're going to go E shape. And like I said, if you treat it as a 7th, you get that minor 7 in there, and it's perfect for accommodating major and minor pentatonic. Let's take it as the E shape. I just played those 2 scales that I'm referring to and their positions. And if you use the famous call and response style soloing, which is, or another way of looking at it is question and answer. If you do the question major pentatonic and then you respond minor pentatonic, you get a perfect blend of what that is. And keep it congruent, right? So if I do this, and then I do, again, here's like a new phrase, which is a call. And then I respond. I kept it congruent in the sense that I started my first phrase with the bend, and then my second phrase, my response or the answer to the question, was also with a bend. So that's what I meant by being congruent. Whatever articulations you predominantly use in your initial statement, try and do that in the response statement as well. This breeds consistency and congruency to the ear. And on each of those, you're splitting between major and minor. And we're staying in this E shape. So then start to explore the shape even more. And then respond minor. Okay, new phrase, major. Minor. Just stuff that's coming off the top of my head. I'm trying to explore the box or the shape a little bit more for you. Maybe you get a little bit lower with it. That's kind of like a Hendrix fill. And then respond minor. Once you start piecing it up all together a little bit quicker, just kind of feeling it and going from there. But those same foundations and principles are right there. So if you take what we just did as an idea and you just copy and paste it to your other 5 shapes, because the caged system is based off of the 5 shapes, this will help you memorize those positions and start getting really comfortable and savvy in changing your shapes whilst being able to use major and minor, that combination. So if we go into just the shape next to it, if you look at it as the G shape, we're still in the key of E, and we're using E major pentatonic, and then we're using E minor pentatonic. It's the same exact theory, same formula, same concept, and then we're just adding some of the licks in there. So here's like a major thing. And then here's minor responding congruently. Okay, now then I just, again, it's so on and so forth, like I do a new phrase. Here's major. Minor, respond. It's kind of this like awesome buttery mixture vibe. And once you, like I said, once you get this, I mean, you're kind of like covering so much ground. Between major and minor pentatonic, you're playing a lot of intervals, so you're targeting a lot of tones. You're painting with a lot of different colors. And that's kind of the geniusness, if you will, of being able to blend these 2 scales. If you learn some blues solos from guys that do a lot of this, maybe start with B.B. King, because some of those phrases are a little bit slower, they're easier to digest. Learn some Eric Clapton, you know, the Sunshine of Your Love solo. If you feel ready, you can learn the Crossroads solo. Stuff like that, where there's this blend of both of them constantly. That'll really get you in the sphere of it. Study your favorite players, and then you learn, well, you can retain, I should say, some of your favorite shapes. So Angus Young is such a big influence on me. Angus Young, if you listen to his guitar solos, he is doing a lot of this. Like in Shook Me All Night Long, it's in G, so it's G minor, G major mixture. So you can hear where like a lot of this goes major at some point. That's a great example right there. I'm looking at that in the C shape. Major, minor. This is kind of digressing just a hair into another player's territory, but it's how you can process that. Take your favorite player's licks that you learn in solos, see it as a chord shape, so then you can apply it to different keys and you're never really lost. And then you have that in your toolbox right there. Once you get comfortable with more of these shapes, we're going to go through all 5 of them. We just did 2 of them in E. I'm going to go through all of them. When you get comfortable with them, you get comfortable with this call and response, question and answer, and you're like hyphenating it, meaning minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, rinse, repeat. You could start putting them in both phrases. So you can go minor, major, or whatever. So like if we go to this next shape, let's go to the A shape for E7. Okay, here's major pentatonic in that box. And then here's minor, all right? These shapes, by the way, shouldn't be that unfamiliar to you. If you've studied the minor pentatonic video and the major pentatonic video, this is crossing a lot of the territory that we've already covered. So here's what I meant by combining those scales within the same phrases. So like, let's say, here's my question. I'm going to start major here. Let's say I go... and then I respond That actually could have been a call and response. That was pretty lengthy. Let me do a new one here. So here's a call. That's a good one to start with. Let's go with that. Scratch the one I just did before that. That was a little too lengthy for this lesson. I started in major, and then I added in a minor 7, so that briefly put me in minor, and then I went back into major, okay? And then I'm going to respond similarly. Maybe I'll start minor and then end major. And that's really cool because you're blending it within the same phrases. So let me piece that together. Maybe a new phrase on the lower half. So here's major. Respond minor with adding some major. And then I ended minor again. It's just, you start feeling your way around. You stop thinking about it after a while too, by the way. You play these phrases, you start memorizing the shapes, you get savvy with it, learn some solos. And of course, if you're watching this lesson, this is experienced, so you have a firm grip of some of this stuff that I'm talking about. You start kind of leading your own way. The music just kind of does the talking, and you just follow along, even though it's improvising. I know that might sound crazy, but it's really not. The music kind of speaks for itself. So, moving a little bit quicker here, let's go to this shape, the C shape here. Here's major. E major. I love this shape, by the way. And then here's minor. So again, major, minor, major, minor, and I threw a little major on the end there. This goes on and on forever. So major, minor. Let's move to this other shape now. Let's go to the D shape, all right? Major. Minor now. So I just played through them and played some phrases, some tinkering around. That's what I want you to do as well. So now if I just start kind of moving through the neck, we'll do a little bit of that and then we'll get out of here and we'll be done. So I'm just kind of adding it in as I go along. I got a little more comfortable there and started doing them within the same phrases like we talked about. So hopefully this was helpful. I know it was kind of a lot, but if you're an experienced player watching this, this shouldn't be too out there or far-fetched for you. This is great for you to see and have some foresight of what it can be for you in the future. Learn some of your favorite solos. I recommend Eric Clapton, B.B. King, any of the legendary blues players. Rewatch this video, and a lot of this will start resonating a little bit more week by week. If you keep coming back to it, oh yeah, I'm hearing it differently. Like I heard him say that before, but it didn't click. Now it's clicking. This is that type of video to rewatch over and over because it's such an extensive topic with major and minor soloing. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging in there, and I know you're going to do great. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe below by clicking that red button. Also click on the bell to receive notifications from me anytime I post a new video. If you're interested in guitar lessons with me, head to my website, BrandonPaulGuitarAlliance.com. All ages, all styles, all skill levels, super HD videos made just for you. Lastly, if you could follow me on my Instagram and my Facebook fan page, that would be amazing. It's at BrandonPaulOfficial. There's more guitar lessons, tons of videos of me playing, my own music, and so much more content. Thank you guys.